Hi everyone. Today we look into yet another aspect of GST, that is the structure of GST as well as the various taxes subsumed under GST. See, primarily GST structure can be categorized into four different sub-themes or subheads, that is CGST, SGST, UTGST and IGST. Of course, I will expand it now. CGST stands for Central Goods and Service Tax. SDST stands for State Goods and Services Tax. UTGST stands for Union Territory Goods and Services Tax. And of course, IGST stands for Integrated Goods and Services Tax. So whenever a transaction or whenever an economy witness a business transaction, these four elements or these four core areas come under that particular transaction. When I say it come under that particular transaction, transactions will be mainly of two kinds: interstate transaction or intra-state transaction. When we explain about or when we talk about the intra-state transaction, it refers to a transaction that takes place within a particular state. And when that particular transaction crosses beyond a state, it will be a transaction between different states. That is called interstate transaction. So what is the relevance of these four sub-themes, that is CGST, SGST, UTGST and IGST? Look here, CGST and SGST stands for a transaction that takes place within a particular state. That is for intra-state transaction. And UTGST primarily arises where a transaction takes place in an union territory. And for IGST too, it arises when a transaction takes place between states. So these are with regard to the structure or the layout of GST. How we move on to the next session. Subsuming of taxes under GST. See, from the initial point of view, the prime motive or the prime aim of the government was to remove the ill effects of double taxation. So as a part of removing the double taxation effect, the government has decided to merge or to subsume different tax elements under GST. So as a starting point, government eliminated all unwanted tax system which were prevailing under the VAT system. And after considering the GST implementation or during the time of GST planning, government decided to subsume different tax elements. And as a part and as a result of it, various taxes were subsumed under GST. See, as you can see here, under GST, some of the indirect taxes are merged. Moreover, it is merged through CDST as well as SGST. And it is done so as to consider the essential tax elements only, because when more and more tax elements are added, it increases the burden of the taxpayer. Okay. So what all taxes were subsumed under CGST? Because CGST is a kind of GST handled by the central government. So the central government, based on the central level, has decided to subsume these kind of tax elements under it, followed by excise duty, additional duties of excise, special excise duty, or to the additional duties of custom. So all these tax elements are relevant. See, actually, these are extracted from hundreds of tax elements. And the government decided to include these CGST elements only. Why? Because the public or the business concern is not responsible to pay double taxation. Okay. So the same happens under the subsuming of taxes under the SGST too. Similarly, SGST, the word denotes state government goods and services tax. So the state government too has decided to merge up all the wanted tax elements only. Perhaps it aimed at removing the unwanted tax elements that fall under the SGST. So as a result, tax on sales, luxury tax, entry tax, as well as purchase tax, entertainment tax, and all kinds of such taxes were subsumed under SDST. So what's the point of subsuming all these taxes under, whether it be the CGST or the SDST, what's the point of all these subsuming? Taxes are subsumed so as to keep apart the unwanted taxes and to pick out the relevant tax elements only. So in that particular aspect, it enables or it helps a person or a business concerned to pay tax in the right time and to pay tax in the right quantity. So before getting onto this slide, let me conclude once again. GST, considering the Indian economy, was a greater challenge. Perhaps that challenge was its success factor too. Because whenever we take risk or whenever we take crucial decisions, there will be a lot of allegations or corrections. But the government has decided over years, I think over 17 years, it took 17 years for its execution and implementation. So in that particular aspect, everyone was doubtful whether it could succeed in the Indian scenario. But to be frank, even nowadays, the initial, for every major decision or for every major planning, there will be some cliches or some contradictions. But considering 2021 or the 2020-21 period, GST has primarily added up to the value of the Indian economy as well as to the value of the Indian investment. So, with considering all these aspects, I'm concluding here. So, I hope you all have enjoyed my session and thank you. Have a great day.